The studio lights shone brightly as the audience's murmurs filled the air. Meghan Markle entered the set with her usual poise, dressed elegantly in a tailored blazer and soft silk blouse. Her presence commanded attention, yet there was an air of tension lingering over the studio. Across from her, Candace Owens, sharply dressed and radiating confidence, sat with a deliberate smirk, clearly prepared to challenge every word. The host introduced both women warmly, but the undertone of the conversation was palpable. Cameras rolled, live streaming to millions of viewers around the world. Meghan adjusted her microphone and took a deep breath, trying to center herself. She had been on live television many times before, but something about this setup felt different, charged, almost electric. The conversation began cordially. Meghan spoke about her latest charitable initiatives, focusing on education and youth empowerment. Her voice was calm but firm, each word chosen with care. Candace nodded politely, but there was a sharp glint in her eyes. Then came the question that would ignite the exchange. "Meghan," Candace began, leaning slightly forward, "some critics say your public statements are inconsistent. How do you respond to accusations that your activism is performative?" The room quieted. Meghan's smile remained, but her eyes flickered with unease. "I believe in using my platform responsibly," she said softly. "I try to highlight issues that matter to people who don't always have a voice." Candace tilted her head. "But some say it's selective. You speak loudly on certain topics but remain silent on others." A subtle murmur ran through the live audience. Meghan's hands tightened slightly around her notes. She kept her composure, carefully choosing her next words. "I cannot address every criticism at once. My focus is on impact and action, not appeasing every opinion." Candace's expression shifted from polite to challenging. "Impact?" she repeated sharply. "Some would argue your choices reflect personal gain more than systemic change." Meghan's jaw tightened. The polite, calm exterior began to crack as the tension in the room rose. The audience sensed the impending storm. The host attempted to intervene, but Candace leaned back, confident and unyielding, as if daring Meghan to break. For the first time, Meghan's poised demeanor wavered. The live cameras captured every micro-expression, the flicker of frustration, the deep breath, the subtle narrowing of her eyes. Viewers at home sensed the electricity in the room. This was no ordinary interview. And then Meghan realized, this conversation was no longer about policies or charity. It was a battle of narratives, and Candace was here to dominate. Candace leaned forward, her tone sharper now. "Let's talk about your recent statements regarding privilege. Some say it's performative and inconsistent with your royal experience. How do you reconcile that?" Meghan paused, her mind racing. She could feel the live audience leaning forward, anticipating her response. "I speak from my perspective, from lived experience. I understand that privilege is complex, and that I have a responsibility to use mine for good," she replied, trying to maintain calm. Candace didn't relent. "Responsibility? Some would argue that responsibility requires more than statements. It requires accountability, especially when millions are watching." The air was thick. Meghan's voice, usually measured, grew firmer, tinged with frustration. "I am accountable every day. My work with children, with education initiatives, with social justice. These are not just words. These are actions." Candace's smirk widened. "Actions? Some would say the optics are better than the outcomes. Millions tune in to see results, not intentions." A gasp rippled through the audience. Meghan's composure was strained now. She straightened her posture, meeting Candace's gaze. "I will not allow my intentions or my efforts to be belittled on live television," Meghan said, her voice sharper, but still controlled. Candace leaned even closer. "Then perhaps it's time to acknowledge that your narrative doesn't always align with reality." At that moment, Meghan's expression shifted from frustration to controlled indignation. The cameras zoomed in. Every eye in the studio, and millions at home, could see the tension peak. Meghan's usually polished demeanor now carried a raw intensity, a mix of anger, hurt, and defiance. The host attempted to redirect the conversation, but the damage was done. The exchange had gone viral before it had even ended. Social media erupted with clips of Meghan's visible struggle to maintain her poise while facing Candace's relentless challenge. For Meghan, it was a humbling moment. The live confrontation was not just a debate, It was a test of her composure under pressure, watched by millions worldwide. Once the cameras stopped rolling, Meghan retreated backstage, adjusting her jacket and taking several deep breaths. Her assistant approached quietly. "Are you okay?" Meghan nodded slowly, though the tension in her shoulders lingered. "Live TV can be brutal," she said softly. "It's a reminder that perception and narrative can hit harder than any criticism." Back in the studio, producers were reviewing the footage, already anticipating headlines. The clips were trending, labeled, "Meghan Markle struggles on live TV." Candace Owens shuts down Meghan. Intense confrontation goes viral. Meanwhile, social media exploded. Fans and critics alike dissected every moment. Meghan's composure, Candace's challenge. The tone, the pauses, the expressions. Opinions were divided. Some praised Meghan for maintaining dignity under fire. Others criticized her for losing her usual calm. Later that evening, Meghan posted a statement on her official channels. "I am committed to my work, to the causes I care about, and to speaking honestly. Public discourse will always be challenging, but the work itself is what matters." Her statement was met with widespread support. Though the live confrontation had been tense and uncomfortable, it reminded millions that being in the public eye comes with relentless scrutiny, and that even someone as poised as Meghan Markle can face moments of vulnerability. In the end, the incident became more than a clash of personalities. It became a testament to the pressure of public life, the intensity of live debate, and the resilience required to remain true to oneself under the world's gaze. Meghan left the studio that night not humiliated, but wiser, stronger, and more determined to continue her work. Proof that public confrontation can test you, but it doesn't define you.